Yeah.
So I'm recording now. So welcome everybody to our final meeting in 2017 of the Moving Forward Learning RBE Learning Network. Yeah, it's a sort of special meeting today, not only because it's our last meeting of the year, but it's also 6 months since the passing of Jacque Fresco, who has been the inspiration for all of us to want to educate ourselves more about what is involved in a resource-based economy, what kind of knowledge we can gain, what kind of ideas people have, and that's what we've been doing for the past 6 months. We are not aligned with any one particular group. I think that's been one of the strengths of this learning network, in that everybody that has a common goal, namely the establishment of a resource-based economy, is welcome to come and share their ideas and just talk with us, as if we were talking among friends. Because the end of the year is also a time when we tend to look back at what has passed in the last 12 months. I just wanted to mention a few of the things that we've talked about here, because looking at it all, it really makes me feel a little bit proud about all of the presentations, all of the ideas, all of the discussions that we've had here so far. So we started out with a sort of a shaky introduction to what we were going to do and a little bit about Project Americana. And then we went on to talk about, from my perspective, about how I understand what education would be under an RBE. We talked about a transition model that Leo and Alexander had worked out in quite detail, and I think that was so good. You know, we could always go back and look at that again, because there was a lot of stuff that just scratched the surface with. We did a meeting on the differences and similarities between communism and a resource-based economy. We talked about cryptocurrency, automation, and the exponential growth of technologies and how this would contribute to an RBE. We had a presentation on nonviolent communication, and also effective presentation techniques. We had a talk about environmental assessment and planning. And the most recent meeting, we had a visit from Perry Gruber from Copiosis, in which he presented the ideas that group has been working on in terms of how to move from this horrible situation that we have here under capitalism onto the resource-based economy that we all so much want to come into being, but need to find a way to get there. So when I talk about, and I've forgotten what Andrew talked about, I couldn't find that meeting on the page. Stephanie, do you remember what Andrew's presentation was about?
I remember he talked about the transition of labor market.
Yeah, it was the labor market, the saturation, yes. How automation was eliminating the need for people to do certain jobs, and how that was also going to contribute to moving to an RBE. So I think you all probably agree with me when I talk about these topics. You know, that's really pretty impressive. We've been talking about some really good stuff, and I hope we'll be able to go on with that in 2018. This evening, on the occasion of the 6th month passing of Jacque Fresco, we are lucky enough to have a guest from representing as a spokesperson, I should say, for what's going on in the Venus Project, which is, of course, the organization that Jacque and Roxanne have devoted their entire lives to, and their entire life work. And I thought it would be interesting for all of us to get it pretty much straight from the horse's mouth. What's going on now, and what can we look forward to, and what kind of things are going on? I think everybody has seen the nice looking graphics and development of the promotions that the Venus Project is putting out. So without any further ado, I would like to turn the meeting over to the G-Man. And after he's told us what he knows about what's going on now and what we can expect in 2018, the meeting will go to a more informal social chat that we can all have about 5 minutes to talk about Jacque Fresco, his meaning to us, what he's done for us, inspired us, about what we personally have done with RBE this year and what we're looking forward to do in 2018, and anything else that you want to mention. Yeah? So, no, I'll just say G-Man. I don't want to ruin your name. Please, feel free to tell us anything you'd like to.
All right. Hello, everyone. How's everyone going? My name is Guilherme Viotti. I'm a PLC from the TVP Global branch from the TVP core project. I've been a PLC for over 2 years now, almost 2 years. And without further ado, what I can tell you about how's everything going under the hood there. Probably everyone already knows this, but since it's big news, I'd like to get this on record on the meeting. Roxanne, by this year actually, she managed to get all the bureaucracy solved regarding the project that involves building the first city. Now she is looking for some specific professionals that can volunteer and help regarding the designs, regarding the schematics, and mostly the technical part regarding the city building. There's unconfirmed information regarding that this will be a multiple city endeavor, but this is unconfirmed information. And pretty much a lot of the effort inside TVP is towards this. There's also the efforts regarding the movie, which is a movie not only documenting our reality nowadays and explaining how a resource-based economy can pretty much solve the basic points regarding how to live better, and all resource-based economy related ideas. And also there's a new program regarding PLCs. So this week we've managed to get this new team of PLCs finishing up the OP, how we call it, the program in which all the PLCs go through to have a better understanding, to study some very specific aspects in the light of TVP. So we as PLCs can help out, mainly spread out the word, but specifically explaining some technical things and managing to get some of the basic questions out of the way for the main public, so we can have increasing amount of people aligned with the philosophies and the technical part that revolves TVP and resource-based economy. So now we are a bigger team right now. let's see how things pan out in the next few weeks or few months. The local teams, the teams that are doing work specifically inside some countries around the world, they keep doing their stuff. We've had this year some changes regarding the communications and the social media, specifically communication, especially because there was a lot of copycatting regarding TVP, and it was addressing in a not so proper way TVP. So the emphasis regarding this was to solidify it, to galvanize the communication aspect without having to go through all the pages and have to explain a lot of people what was going on. And there was a couple of setbacks regarding this because in a lot of countries things were already set up in a specific way, but so to get everything regarding the communications back on track, it's probably going to take a little while. And of course there's a lot of projects regarding TVP that are not a disclosure, not even to us, although we have close contact with Roxanne, we have close contact to a lot of things TVP regarding related. There are a lot of projects that are not disclosed, and mainly that happens so and it's something that was already happening when Jacque was around, is because whenever there was a half communication going through, a lot of hype would be built, and if things wouldn't pan out the way it was expected, a lot of people would get counterproductive regarding those projects, not only the public in general, but also people who are not directly involved on projects. So Roxanne has a policy, if we can say something like this, to only let people know the projects and what is going on after there is a very basic foundation regarding the project. After something was already done and gears are in motion and there's no turning back regarding that specific project. But there's some stuff related to the educational part. We are up and running on the advanced course. We still don't have the first people already went going through and finishing up this advanced course. There's a lot of people on the line waiting for that to happen, myself included. And this advanced course is almost 2-year endeavor. So this is going to take a while before we can exponentially have people going through, because the main idea, and if I don't know if you guys know about this, but the social cyberengineering course, and it's related to the social cyberengineering project, which is the building of the city. It's intended for each and every person who finishes the course can also lecture it. So right now we have a few people, very few people undergoing that, but after the first cycle, we're going to have from 3 to 5 people that will be able to have their own classes and give out this course to whoever is in line there to get the course. I don't have the update regarding specific projects regarding all the countries. I know United States now has a lot of people working there. Over here in Brazil, we have 4 POCs, including myself. We just did a very interesting presentation on a festival in the south of the country a few months back, around 3 months back, something like that. And I do know that there's some getting a little bit closer to the team in Russia. We have some stuff going on in Europe in general. and well, that we now have some POCs in countries that we didn't have POC prior to that. So this is also very exciting news because POCs usually are the guys who try to get the word out, uh, can do events on behalf of TVP, can direct and redirect some specific informations. We have access to the official TVP emails for each country. I actually am the one who answers the Brazilian emails alongside Deborah. And yeah, it's a turning point. The end of the year actually is being a turning point for TVP. So we're looking forward how 2018 is going to pan out, especially because one statement that Roxanne gave after Jacque passed was like she was taking care directly all the time regarding Jacques. So that one of the aspects, one of the byproducts of this was that she didn't have time to pursue other things regarding TVP. So now she has more time in her hands regarding this. So I believe that there's a lot of preparation regarding this that she's managing to do, and yeah, maybe next year we're going to see more stuff and faster happening regarding TVP.
Okay, thank you. Is it okay if we ask you some questions before we go to the more informal round?
Yeah. Go right ahead. I'm all for answering questions.
Okay. I've got some myself actually. You mentioned that there were some unconfirmed rumors about a multiple city endeavor, and the whole idea of constructing the city. I'm just curious why TVP feels that this is the best place to focus the activities. What's the function of this city?
Yeah, the city is going to be, it's not going to be a full-fledged city that we usually see on the documentaries where everybody's living in harmony and have the houses and have like the extrusion constructions and the 3D printing and so on and so forth. The main concept, the main idea is to have a research center slash theme park, and I'm air quoting here because I don't know a better expression in English to say this, but the main concept is to have a place where we can test out a lot of the things that we see on the documentary, see how they can get produced in our reality nowadays, and especially to understand the entire process of how we can replicate the city somewhere else. So it's kind of an university, a big one. It's a big campus, so to speak, but it's going to have a lot of the traces, a lot of the aspects regarding the circular city. Uh, Probably we'll be able to see this circular city itself, not on the size that we expected to see, but on the modular level regarding you build only an eighth of the city, and then after you learn from everything regarding that, you now have the resources to replicate a second eighth of the city and go on until we have the full-fledged circular city. But it's not going to be a place where anyone can go there to live or something like that. It's going to be a place where engineers, scientists, people who need access to infrastructure to do proper studies and to do proper prototyping can go there. Probably live there, if I'm not mistaken. It's a part of the project to engulf a little bit of that. I actually don't see why not. And from there be some sort of seed and also people can visit there. Just like nowadays, you can visit the research center in Florida. It would be a place for people to go there and see the entirety of Jacque's work, have a specific presentation regarding resource-based economy, and pretty much all the 9 yards. So this is the expectation we have so far regarding this first city.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Yeah, Stephanie.
So, well, I'm not sure if appropriate. So I want to know, how does Jacque Fresco's passed away influence the whole project?
Yeah, I only have partial information regarding this, but I can also say from an outside perspective of someone who is in touch with the project itself on a regular basis. The impact was, well, profound in a way that it was Jacque Fresco. He was the guy who managed to do all that research and combine and structure everything together. And for the past almost 50 years now, Roxanne was right by his side, and actually also working on the ideas and so on and so forth. So the project itself, it it kept on going. Like there were no setbacks specifically regarding dependence on Jacque. This was already expected. He was already very old, so himself actually made sure that things would go on without him getting everything in place from many years ago. So after a little bit of time, because of course there are a lot of people very emotionally impacted regarding his passing, um, uh, there was a little bit of a few days of people adjusting to that new reality, myself included. But the work kept on going on all fronts. And yeah, and Roxanne said that now she actually have more time. She can do travels now. That's something that is very interesting. So she can go back into going to other countries to lecture, and usually that helps a lot galvanize some aspects of TVP and resource-based economy. Since she's a very big figure and has a lot of weight on talking directly to her and getting her to answer questions to a specific crowd and so on and so forth. So I don't know if I managed to answer your question properly, but in a nutshell, things just kept on going. This was already expected to some degree, and getting the emotional part aside, things are going the way they used to be when he was around.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else with a question? Yeah, Jenny.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Hey, thank you so much for the update, Gamerl. It was awesome, and I'm really excited for the new year. Building the city is like one of my thoughts that sounds like it's getting manifested. So really excited and looking forward to that. My question is, where is the location of the city, and how do we get involved?
Perfect. That's a great question. The location of the city is not yet determined, as far as I know, as far as I have the information. I don't know if we don't have the location yet, or if it's being purposely undisclosed so far. Um, but I can definitely um, not express, but I can definitely check that Roxanne wouldn't say something like this unless to the public. This actual information is on the website. So she wouldn't go public with something that was not like properly grounded. So I have some I have some not some notion that she probably already has some land, but this is not something that was disclosed so far. And regarding participating, you guys can check the official website, and there's a form in which you just fill out the form. It goes to a database from TVP, and from there, Roxanne and a whole bunch of other people are screening people there to see what they actually need at the time present, what type of professionals they will need in the upcoming months, so on and so forth. Although this part of the website was already open, it gave this new idea, this new project regarding the city, gave it a new boost. So we managed to talk to people saying, remember that database? Now it's open to a live project. Sorry. So you can just go there, fill out the form, and there's a team specifically designated to determine who to be contacted. They now apparently are looking for some very specific professional. So if I'm not mistaken, it's architecture, engineering, and academics. So if you are an academic, if you're an architecture, or if you're an engineer, just check it out. See if it rings a bell, if it fits you there. Absolutely.
Okay. We got a question here from who was it? From
Tony. I think Tony wants to have
no,
a
it was
question.
John. I just wanted to ask this question from John. He says, are these projects or the building the city related in any way to the Brazil project at thebrazilproject.org?
Yeah, the Brazil project, actually, it's some sort of spin-off, just like a lot of spin-off projects that happens nowadays and that already happened regarding someone establishing a different strategy to reach a source-based economy, and a couple of projects also derange entirely, not only the strategy, but also the objective. The Brazil project was actually something that I was involved a couple of years ago. I managed to go there to see the land, and I worked a little bit alongside Richard, who is in front of the captain of the boat, so to speak. But the Brazil project is not affiliated with TVP directly, and maybe there's a parenthesis that I can do regarding this. Up until 2016, 2015, TVP was very open to this notion of having projects who managed to establish a very deep alignment regarding TVP, and TVP would support them, and the project would support TVP back. I think the epis, or the most that we saw that happened when Zeitgeist and TVP were working together. And since a couple of years ago, TVP got in a lot of trouble, a couple of them even legally, regarding initiatives that would reference TVP. So TVP was not actively doing anything regarding a specific project, but that project did something very bad, and now TVP had to legally answer for that. So since Roxanne doesn't have a legal team, we don't have a lot of people working inside TVP in general, especially professionals specialized in some specific areas. And that was very time consuming and even resource consuming. So Roxanne kind of closed the gates regarding this. It was not something arbitrary. It was not something regarding she doesn't like it or she doesn't believe in this kind of thing or anything like that, but it was to protect something that was undergoing already. So nowadays, TVP doesn't support any outside projects because of this bad experience, this very, very bad experience they had. So not only the Brazil project, but any other project that says that they are directly affiliated with TVP, uh, double, triple check the information because I don't know, maybe Roxanne is supporting something that I don't know, that we as a team don't know, but it's like 99.9% chance that this is not happening. So the Brazil project, as far as I'm concerned, I still see some of the information that undergoes there, but very scarcely. I wouldn't be able to say anything, but the last information that I've got was Richard was doing something regarding getting water because he is in a place in Brazil. I don't know if you guys know about this, but on the northeast of Brazil, everything is very dry. We don't have a lot of water there. So water is a very big issue regarding the land he managed to get. So he got some sort of solution to siphon water from the ground there, and apparently he was commercializing it so he could finance some other stuff regarding the project. But this is information from about 4 or maybe more months ago. But there's no direct correlation regarding the Brazil project and the Venus project.
Okay, thank you. Tony, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, I do. The city that is being built, it's kind of a couple of part question. Do you guys get subsidized, or where do you get your funding from? What would the general cost be of that? And what is the timescale that you put on it to build this city?
Yeah, regarding the funding, Roxanne is very adamant regarding pairing up with any outside or third-party entity. So, from as far as I know, the entire project is going to be funded through the TVP usual resources regarding money donation. They have it open on the website regarding the money that they do by selling their knowledge and the lectures and some historic content that they have, especially regarding Jacques' lectures, and all the usual incomes that already happen inside TVP. If she is pairing up with someone on the outside, like a third party or something like that, this is not disclosed so far to anyone outside the project core itself. No one knows about this so far. Just like the land, no one knows about this. But historically speaking, there hasn't been a single entity or enterprise or government affiliations or third sectors that would have even the basic alignment with resource-based economy to jump on the boat. So I'm very skeptical regarding someone pairing up with TVP to do this effort, because usually what happens, it's a third party that needs to make money out of it, needs to plaster it with advertisement or build a hotel like that, or have some segregation community regarding religion. The TVP has a very vast background of people saying, I want to help, but it has to be under my terms. And this is something that Roxanne is adamant, so she's not budging regarding this. This is something that it's extremely clear regarding their strategy.
And what is the timescale that TVP is thinking of creating this?
Yeah, sorry. We don't have one. There is none so far. Right now, what is happening is they are developing the designs. They are checking what can be done regarding the first city. I don't know if a lot of people here has some background in project management, but those first steps that are happening right now are to determine the cost, determine the size that is going to take regarding a specific land, the materials, the resources, what type of flow of information and resources and money that's going to be required, and especially the time frame regarding the project. So everything regarding this is being developed as we speak.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question also from Dimitar, and he asked if Corcen is still alive. That's Corcen. I don't know who that is personally, but I think he
The
thinks.
corns.
Sorry?
That's the question myself.
Sure, but I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting some connection issues here.
Okay, so my question is, used to be the software developed in, it's called Carson. It was operated by Jacque years ago. And I cannot find a valid link there. Do you have any knowledge about this team? Is it still alive? Are the projects still alive?
As far as I know, the project is not live. The project has halted for a few years now, if I'm not mistaken. This was an outside endeavor, at least in the beginning. This was an outside endeavor that Roxanne brought inside the TVP, but information regarding the core CERN that I have right now is very old. But I believe that it's not being pursued as of this time, the software part of the core CERN.
Is there any software development team now? I mean, there were a lot of projects that were pretty interesting, maybe. So, is there any? Do you have any knowledge about any movement?
There were some software regarding the educational part, but I don't think, and this was actually being developed this year, but I don't think that we'll be able to see anything regarding the educational platform anytime soon. Specifically because due to a constriction of people regarding doing a lot of projects, sometimes projects get halted, so those people can work on something else that's more urgent at that time. So I know that there was a team, a small team, working on the educational platform as a software, but I haven't had any news regarding this for quite some time now. So it would be an educated guess saying that the project was halted. And there were a lot of softwares regarding gamification and apps regarding TVP and some stuff like that. And though all of those projects didn't start inside TVP, were people who wanted to align the project inside TVP and then pursue these softwares, games, and 3D stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, all of the projects regarding games, apps, and virtualization didn't go through. The people who actually said that, oh, let's do this, I'm a programmer, I can do this, I can get a team, let's work together, and all of a sudden there was someone else saying, yeah, I'm a programmer too, let's do this. A few months later, nobody was even going through the proper channels to discuss it. So projects were dead in the water.
But there was one interesting project about mapping resources and management of resources, which would be actually valid for the city. This was all I was interested in.
Sorry, you were interested in what? Sorry?
There was one project about mapping and planning of resources globally. So this was the project that I was interested in. What I remember was Ruby on Rails was the main technology that was chosen for this project. So this was the main project that I was interested in still contributing.
Yeah, I heard about this project quite some time ago, but I haven't heard about this project. Like I didn't even know that it was an active project. I remember a couple of people back in the day, if I can say that, talking about this project, but the information was very feasible, was like very feeble, sorry, and I haven't heard about this project ever since. It was something very superficial, and I haven't heard anything about that for quite some time now.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. You are muted. I can see you're talking, but you're muted.
That happens all the time. I'm such a professional. Okay, so thank you. I think we have time for one more question before we go over to the more informal social talk. So has anyone got still a question? Are you talking, Troy?
You got to unmute yourself.
I did it, yeah.
Quick question. I'm just wondering about, it's unfortunate that oftentimes it takes for the death of a visionary, years later, his ideas find some acceptance. And I'm just wondering with the passing of Jacque, if you've noticed any increase in awareness of the group or membership.
Actually, there was around his death, there was a little bit of interesting. There was a little peak, sorry, in the curve regarding interesting towards TVP, but usually what happens is people get more interested not only when that person passed away, but also when there are a lot of people documenting it, especially on the mass media, so newspapers and television and so on, and now social media. So regarding social media, the trend kept on going before he passed away up until nowadays. There was not anything very significant, but this is from my perspective. Okay, this was never discussed among us, so we could try to get some numbers regarding the global effort and try to pinpoint or measure if some phenomena like that happened. But from my stance and from the perspective of someone who's always a little bit in touch with all the outputs from TVP, I saw a little bit of a peak right after his death, but after that, things kept on being the same, and the attention that TVP got was mainly on the channels that usually happens. That so TV, open television channels that usually are broadcast as streamed video inside YouTube mainly. Some videos from social media agencies that talk about sustainability and so on and so forth. So every time something comes out like that, there's a rise on people's awareness.
I'm guessing you're not getting contacted by any governments to put Jacque's face on their currency.
No, I don't think Jacque would like that. But well, Jacque himself said that after I die, just get me on the toilet and flush me out. I don't want to be a martyr. I don't want to be an icon. I don't want anything. Just keep on doing the good work, because after you die, you're dead. And I think we are kind of not doing precisely that, but respectfully, we are trying to carry out the torch, especially with Roxanne now being the person who's directing and giving direction on TVP in general. And but yeah, we've tried to, when Greece was on the verge of breaking economically, our team there managed to get his book and some letters to some politicians there. Nothing happened. There's a very big movement in Russia regarding trying to do some movement regarding the government there, but we don't usually see anything fruitful from that end. Over here in Brazil, we've tried to do a couple of things regarding politics as well, and but usually what happens is the projects they reveal themselves as being unsustainable from the perspective of you having to play the political game, and whenever you have to do that, you are sabotaging whatever intent you're trying to bring there, because it's a very tight system and very addicted system to all the mechanics that already are happening inside there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Guillaume, for your very, very useful, informative, and well-worded presentation. I'd like to move on now to a more general input from everybody here. So as I mentioned earlier, you can tell something about yourself, your feelings about Jacque and what his work has meant for you, and specifically what your experience with RBE has been in 2017, and what you're looking forward to in 2018. And if you don't mind, Leo, I'd like to begin with you. I haven't seen you for a long time, and I'm curious about how things are going with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem. As you know, we did a presentation a while back, like I think it was this summer, about the project we're working on regarding a transition model toward the RBE, in fact. Really influenced by the Venice project, in fact, strongly inspired by it. Regarding what we did during the last meeting where we were presenting, we participated to a contest. I think it was the New Era contest, things like that, where we had to produce like a conceptual overview of our project and our ideas. I think the Venus project participated to that contest too, through Roxanne, and yeah. It's a Landly document. If you want, I'll send it to you, but it's around 25 pages. More recently, we've acquired new members. We're now 4 working on this, like on our spare time, and we're currently considering, in fact, working on the design of a website and a phone app to integrate our ideas and to present it to the public. And that's pretty much it. We're on the side working on possible contracts in engineering fields to fuel what we're doing, and that's pretty much it. What we've been working on. If I don't know if you had any particular questions, or well. That's pretty much it. If anyone is interested, well, contact me after this meeting, and that's it.
Yeah, and then what's going on with your life? You still studying and stuff?
Yeah, approaching the end of my studies, but there's still 1 year to go in my 5 years of electrical engineering degree. But we plan to start working as soon as on those ideas as soon as we finish, because we are all students in different fields. But yeah, I'm currently finishing an internship in smart bikes, electrical bikes, and things like that. But yeah, it's been a fun year.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you. Who else would like to talk a bit about what they've been doing and what they're looking forward to, what RBE and Jacque has meant to them. Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, now can you hear me? Okay, good, good. Yeah, you know that in 2016, I made a bunch of videos, Steve Saylor for president, where I was just laying out the reasons why we can't stay in this system and why we have to move toward a resource-based economy. And last year, I just took a break from that and just sort of following what was going on. And, you know, I'm a big fan of Richard Osmaston down in New Zealand, who's been doing the Money-Free Party. And Troy was on a radio show of another guy, Scott Andrew, who's being a great leader down there for this. And has got a radio show on Wednesday night. A week and a half ago, Troy was on there. And I think last week, Connie and Troy and people from Mexico, where you were having the World Summit meeting, were there. I haven't listened to that one yet, but I'm going to. And it was interesting to hear Troy talking about how he went down to Australia and was hanging out with Richard. I didn't know you did that, Troy. And was helping him spread the message down there. And yeah, I enjoyed that. I wanted to see the Money-Free Party get going in the U.S. And, you know, and Nick Capping has got some people doing a little bit in the UK and New Zealand. They're the best. They could possibly move into an RBE, a moneyless society, at some point because of the different situation down there. But in the U.S., I don't know if we could move right into it. But so I wanted to get the Money-Free Party going in the U.S. and make a few videos, kind of just quickly explain, not like the other ones I did are 10 minutes long and then they're bigger production, but I just want to make like 2-minute videos explaining different elements of a new system and getting out of the control of the bankers and money. And so, you know, I don't know if it's just you lose so many people when you talk about going immediately from a money system to no money. It's just so hard for people. And so I was thinking in this country, I think we're too far gone to be able to make that step in one step. But, you know, if we talk about the main thing we're going to do, the first thing is getting rid of the central bankers, fractional reserve system, the Federal Reserve, going back to what the founding fathers of this country wanted, which was just, you know, the Congress making the money and regulating it enough to keep the economy going. Go back to something like that. Get rid of the bankers. Get rid of the Wall Street scam, the whole financial industry. And I mean, this is sort of what everybody wants. This is like a first step. And get rid of debt, you know, student debt. And this is all fiction. This, we can just let go of this and go to another system. And I don't know how many people you would say, no, I don't want to do that. If you just lay it out like that, who is going to say, no, I want to stay in this system of paying interest to the central bankers? You know, we could be making our own money, which we did for a while at the beginning of the country, and providing interest-free loans to people and trying to regulate it like that. Meanwhile, as we do that, we try to prove to ourselves that we can actually produce an abundance of the things people want and need. And here we can make food in this, you know, automated system for practically free. So here, this is free now. In something else, we can make an abundance. This can be free now. This is what we're working toward, you know, an economy of abundance rather than this forced scarcity that we need here. So then, you know, you can talk about the same things really we're all talking about here, getting out of an infinite growth economy, which cannot go on, and getting rid of jobs, automating everything. And when people want to ask me what this is, I'm starting to say, well, this is automationism. This is not communism. This is not socialism. This is a new system called, we could call it automationism. And this is where we want to get rid of more jobs. We get rid of jobs as fast as we can. We celebrate doing that. And we've never had this before. We've never had the machines be there to be the laborers, to be the workers. That's why this is a new system of automationism. And, here we get people more time now. People can work 10 hours a week. So eventually, you're talking about what this party wants to do. We're getting to where we want to go. But just as a first step, it's just enough to say, let's get rid of the central bankers and Wall Street and the debt jubilee. We've had this through time. Let's make this the goal for the party. So anyway, I've got to run this by Kathy Harris and Liza Rucroft. They've done, and I've talked to them in a couple of messages. They've been doing the work on this. And then I ran it by Nick, because it's a little out of line with the Money Free Party in New Zealand and the UK, where they're talking to going straight to no money. And so it's a little different than that. And I don't know what people here think of that. If you'd like to forget even trying to go to Congress making money or using Bitcoin here, we don't have to do what we might have done in the past. Here we can have a new one, so we can kind of have a convention, but basically get people to start talking about moving beyond money altogether. I don't know, what's anybody think about that? Huh?
Well, if you can put all of that in a 2-minute video, Steve, I think I'd be really interested in seeing that.
Yeah. Okay, I got to make sure it's okay with everybody to take this direction, to want 2 steps to move out of the money system. And because when you just talk about getting rid of the bankers and what's going on and get people to know how that we're so controlled and the debt slavery, we can move beyond that. We can do that now. That should be the first goal. And I just think everybody would want to get on board. So we want to put together a website where we have the 50 states lined up there, and you can pick what state you're from. And you can have 2 boxes there. And one is, I support this direction of the Money Free Party. And another box would be, I might be willing to run for office for the Money Free Party. And then on that page, all the states have different requirements of what you need. So, some you need a petition with this many signatures based on that, and then a fee to register the party. But let's see if we can get people aboard this. Let's see if we can start registering this party in state after state and see what the stats are. And it's something to do. I don't know what else to do.
I think there's enough to do, though, Steve. But I'm interested to see if you get that worked out. Thanks.
Yeah. So we'll see what anybody thinks. If anybody really doesn't say, I'm with the Money Free Party in New Zealand, and it really wouldn't be good for you to change the platform just so drastically to not, we just want to get rid of money altogether. And so if somebody's going to object to that, I'll have to find out. That's what I'm going to just check out.
Yeah,
over the next
you should probably check with them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That's what I'm doing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Who else would like to say something? Nicholas, how are you doing?
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, it feels like a very long time and a very short time since Jacque passed. I just like this, just honoring him. And he's been so influential to my life. I wouldn't be doing what I am doing now if it wasn't for him. And what can I say? For those who don't know, I've been into the whole direction of the Venus Project and the resource-based economy for probably over 5 years now. I'm not counting, but it's been just a few years after I was 18. I'm 26 now. So at the moment I'm studying also similar to Leo, electronics engineering. It's automation engineering and robotics. So I'm loving that. The course is going really well, but I'm just in the first year, so a lot more to learn. But yeah, I'm putting my heart into it, and the results are showing, so I'm learning a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to contribute with something practical and tangible in the not too distant future. At the same time, as I've moved to Ireland, and I'll be here probably for the next 5 years, I'd say, I noticed there's no POC for the Venus project in Ireland, so I'm doing the quizzes. I've got 3 left out of 8, and then I'll do the interview and start the whole orientation. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited, and hopefully we can get us team started in Ireland. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know if there are any questions, but you're muted. We can't hear you.
As usual. Well, maybe since there's some new people here, you can tell us just something more about yourself. Where are you from? Have you got a girlfriend?
Oh, God. Yeah, sure. I always struggle with the where you're from. I'm from planet Earth. From here and there. You could narrow it down to Europe if you like, but yeah, I don't really identify with any nation, so I pledge allegiance to Earth and all the people on it, as probably Jacque would say, and the scientific method. What else? I do have a girlfriend, very grateful to have her. And I don't know if you asked anything else. I also did a presentation for this group a while back, and I really enjoyed giving that. And I'm still very focused on the whole direction that presentation was on. So it's mostly about exponential technologies and how I really believe in the next couple of decades it will be ridiculous for anyone to assume any direction other than an RBE. So I really see that happening, and I try to get that message out more and more, because people focus on the negative sides, and like in many aspects in society it looks like we're going backwards, but technology is accelerating, and people don't understand how fast it's accelerating. So if you look in the next 20 years, where like just manufacturing and healthcare, just all these things will reach ridiculous things that we'd say that's impossible right now. But as Jacque says, saying that's impossible not in 1,000 years doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything. What you should be asking is, how would you propose reaching that result? How would you go about replicating that phenomenon? Ask actual scientific questions, not opinions. So I really like putting out the facts, the statistics, the research progress that's going in now, that is showing clearly how we're going into that direction into the future. And I believe I think Steve said that people struggle with the concept of living without money, but I'm a big proponent of Guilherme I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, was talking about before with the from the laugh I'm taking, I mispronounced it. I apologize, but but I really like the idea of the creation of a real life model. And I think that once you have a system, for example, that if you automate the food production, and you're giving, you've just got an abundance of food and you're giving people access to that, I think it will be extremely natural for people to just embrace the whole no money concept. Because if you put a vertical farm that's giving out free food, and it's got robotic chefs that even cook the food for you, and drones that will deliver it for free to your house, and it's all powered by solar panels, I don't see anyone who's going to prefer going to the McDonald's and paying for a crappy Big Mac when you can have locally really healthy, cooked to perfection food, because we're talking about robots that can cook Michelin-star food at each time without error, for free, because they don't expect a Chef Ramsay kind of pay. So I think the transition will be really successful, and And yeah, to me, the future is looking bright, and I can't wait to contribute to it myself. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Thanks a lot, Nicholas. Very
Yeah,
nice.
no worries.
Who would like to say something now? Nuno?
Yes, no, yes. Hello, everyone. I was thinking, starting as saying what Jacque meant to me. I wrote some notes here. Don't bother if I'm looking aside. Jacques showed me, among other things, a lifelong purpose. It is hard to me to imagine other purpose, making anything at a job other than build a better world. And what science and technology can provide us today, it's really hard to me imagine for my life expectancy to end this long-term job, making a better world according to the science and technology, all they have to offer us. Even he stated there is no purpose in life. I think I achieved my, I accomplished, I found my purpose because I think he was mentioning in the creation of life, not in for the life of our own, for each other. And being that purpose to make a better world, and as a matter of fact, a lot of things can be done nowadays because of this state of science and technology. Luckily, I think I have several knowledges and competences in some areas, and even I'm not practicing what I've learned in the university along 10 years in university in electronics engineering and software development. I found that even I'm not working at the time, at the present, I can feel accomplished because in this struggle in working for a RBE, in trying to educate people, trying to showing people there's we can have a better society if we use those things, either either ending politics, ending the economic system, ending work for labor, labor for income, either all those things. I think I turn out to be accomplished because I use those knowledges, I use those competencies in all the things I do. Mainly, okay, it's in groups, in Facebook groups, either groups in TVP or the Zeitgeist movement, but I mainly work, I mainly comment in other groups of people that are unhappy, and I have some of these groups, and I enter them to offer them, to show them, because they are some of them desperate, some of them are angry because of the everyday news, everyday things that come up to public, either in politics or in other fields. And I use those groups, entering them and sometimes replying to people showing disagreement and angry in those posts, and I offer them. I try to invite them to our groups, our point of view, and I also do some posts either in those groups, in my own Facebook, and other groups. So I'm also trying to not supporting the economic system, either avoiding buying stuff and making services of my own. I was thinking in some things that can be fixed, that has to be fixed either in my vehicles, in my motorcycle or car or bicycle. In the past, I used to buy for services and make and pay for doing that services. Nowadays, I try to be my own, make those things to me, and avoiding to acquiring stuff and buying things and not supporting the economic system. I'm also this year changing my diet towards a more veganism point of view, a veganism way. I've also started to educate and learn about cryptocurrency for the past month. I'm hopefully to choose a point to enter to that market and really try to go the way for the cryptocurrency, and it's also a struggle. It's also a way to combat this economic system. So for 2018, I intend to go along with those things and make it a continuum.
Yeah, those are some really good points, Nuno, especially the positive way you can introduce a resource-based economy when in the news all the things you hear are just so negative. And it's so important if you can bring something positive into groups that don't know anything about that. So yeah, I'd say keep it up. Yeah.
In what I've said, I see a resource-based economy for a global thing, as we can do in science and even in technology, either in non-violent communication. I'm either being more friendly with each other, more
also very important.
all those things, not just related to economics.
Yeah, absolutely right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yuri, are you going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with you? How is 2017 been for you? Anything
Yeah, sure. Not much, I guess, towards the resource-based economy, because as I told you, I can contribute much by now to what I want to contribute towards, which is promoting widely the project. And so I'm in the phase of gathering resources. But I did help a little bit in another project. It's called IDTRA. It's an initiative to transition. Probably know about that. And so, yeah, I made a video, helped with making a little animation so we can make using videos and stuff like that. Very, very briefly, just introduction. And what else? I think, yeah, in terms of a resource-based economy, I think that's pretty much it. I worked so much this year that I couldn't do much. And my plans for 2018, I hope to contribute more to that particular project, but also to a resource-based economy. I hope to get resources that I plan on getting and be working on promoting, making maybe videos, explaining some projects from particular perspectives that I think are, necessary and sometimes are misunderstood. So, yeah, ideas I have in mind that sometimes I think would be helpful to put in a video and show to people. regarding resource-based economy and transitions. But yeah, just I think that's about it. I mean, yeah, not much. Anything else you want to know? You're muted. Sorry.
Right, I'll go next. Charlotte, you're muted.
Yeah.
If you want to say something.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah.
I was just making a joke about have you been having any good RBE dating experiences, but that's a private joke from me, you, and Stephanie. No, this is just, anything you want to tell us about yourself. So.
Right, so yeah, I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. So I'm Stephanie, as most of you already know me. So well, in 2014, I met Charlotte and Roll. So we set up this Moving Forward RBE platform. So it's such an honor to meet loads of RBE supporters. It's kind of changed my life a little bit, a lot. So in 2018, I look forward to meeting more RBE supporters in UK because I'm a PhD student, economics PhD student in England. So if I can build more connections, that would be great. Also, as I said, I'm an economics student. So if any of you is interested in the inter-subject cooperation, you can message me. We can probably work on some papers or anything like related to fully automated economy, because I can do model stuff like that. So yeah, that would be all. That's quick. Yeah.
So you mean you're saying that you'd be eager to cooperate with someone to give a presentation in 2018?
Yeah, I can do that. Also, as it's a paper, so if I can do a study related to fully automated economy.
Oh yeah.
Someone outside of economics.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So keep that in mind. Any of you interested in that line? Who else would still like to say something? Oh yeah, I already said that you could. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's me. Okay. First of all, as a point of contact, we cannot say anything like really in the behalf of CPS information that here is just like things that go through us, and we can definitely.
You're breaking up. You're breaking off.
What's sorry?
You're.
1 second.
Yeah, I can't hear you really. Can you say something?
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. Something happening with my computer here.
No, sorry. We're not hearing you. There's something wrong with your microphone or something like that. And he looks frozen as well.
Let's move to next person. Maybe he will come back later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, James.
I've literally just arrived home from a meal out, so thought I might as well say something now before it's too late. So, hi guys. So, my name's James, and I'm in Manchester, in the UK. And what I wanted to come on to tonight is to talk about my involvement in cryptocurrency and how I'm going to, in the next year, use that as a way of raising funds for the Venus project. Can you guys hear me?
That's not really the function of this social meeting. So if what we're doing now is just introducing ourselves and talking a little bit about what RBE means to us and what Jacque Fresco has been meant to us. Of course, if you want to talk about something you want to do with cryptocurrency towards that end, that's fine. But it's pretty informal now. So if you could keep it to that, that would be great.
So like my opinion on what Jacque meant to me. So I think like Jacque was really like a big part of my I first heard about the Venus project when I went to university. I heard about it in my first year, and I don't know, it was interesting. When I first learned about it, I started getting really interested in economics. And it wasn't just the economic side, but the sort of behavioral psychology of it. Because I studied linguistics. So I thought it was very interesting, sort of a very different perspective to what I've been taught in conventional education. And I think having that insight sort of like gave me a different perspective on behavioral psychology compared to my peers. And I just thought it was very interesting. I just researched it more and more and more. And anyway, after university, I started, I don't know, I guess a bit depressed because I thought like, I thought as if like there was nothing that I could contribute or that doing what I'd been told I had to do, get a job and all the rest of it was just like slave labor, and I was going nowhere in life, so that sort of mentality. So I was always searching for something that I could do to sort of change that. And I know that when Jacque passed away, I was like, thought I wasn't not sad. I was surprised when it happened. I knew he was getting on. He wasn't well. Yeah, it was definitely a shock when it happened. But yeah, Jacque meant a lot to me, and I don't know. I think like I know it's not the place for it, but yeah, I found cryptocurrency. That's one way that I'd be raising money for the direction. And yeah, the only reason I mentioned it is because it's groups like this where you got people that are actually trying to change things. So I thought the opportunity to network. I know that one person here is already friend request, and that's great. So, but yeah, maybe if anyone's interested, just send me a friend request and talk more. But yeah, I'm James. Good to introduce myself.
Oh, that's great. And if you have any concrete ideas about how cryptocurrency, we already had a presentation from Raul about it, but if you've got a different approach, a different idea about that, we're always looking for people to share knowledge with us. So,
approach to Raul, slightly different.
Yeah, we can set up a time that you can talk more at length about it if you like.
His is sort of based on trading. Mine's based on residual income.
Okay.
And referrals. So you make money for yourself, and in the process, you make money for the Venus project.
Okay. So, well, maybe that's something we could have a presentation on next year.
Yeah, cool. No
okay. Thanks. Anyone else like to say anything about themselves? Yeah, Troy?
Just in honor of Jacque, I'd like to just read a little quote here that he's had a profound impact on my life, and I wrote a book called The Next Copernican Revolution that I released late in 2016. And I think Jacque will look back maybe 50, 100 years from now, or maybe not even that long. And, he's potentially right up there with Copernicus. So I started off the first chapter of my book with a quote by Jacque in a book that he co-wrote with Kenneth Keyes Jr. in 1969 called Looking Forward. So he wrote, "You will understand this book best if you are one who sees today only as a stepping stone between yesterday and tomorrow. You will need a sensitivity to the injustices, lost opportunities for happiness, and searing conflicts that characterize our 20th century civilization. If your mind can weigh new ideas and evaluate them with insight, this book is for you. If our predictions in this book seem plausible to you, we have probably failed to see far enough ahead. If our projection of the future seems completely impossible and utterly fantastic, there is a possibility that we may be on the right track. So I think that's just a great sort of introduction to my book, where I talk about all the ideas of a resource-based economy and, you know, the difficulty in flipping the paradigm and having the courage to do that. And just that was 2016. This year, 2017, I've been honored to be part of a group called the World Summit, and with some other great people, including the co-founder here, Tony, and Stephanie, and Charlotte's joining us as well. And Lee, I see you just popped up there. We've been talking to you as well, so that's great. So 2018, we're kicking the year off. The World Summit is all about unifying the different groups and setting aside our differences. And I think we can discover our true power by, instead of dividing, coming together, unifying, and presenting a unified front about some very radical ideas that when the social conditions get crazy enough like they are now, then what once was considered radical becomes practical. And when enough people start promoting the same ideas about a post-capitalist, post-monetary world, then suddenly that becomes practical. So we're unifying all the different groups, and we're bringing in January 11th through the 15th in Mexico. We're having our first mini summit, and we're inviting people from all. We have attendees coming from all over the world, from the Money Free Party, from the Free World Charter. We have a representative that's already in Playa now from Ubuntu, and she'll be there. We have Envienta Open Source Everything. Who am I forgetting here? Oh, and of course the indigenous community, Standing Rock, and some indigenous elders, the Water is Life movement. And so it's going to be a pretty exciting way to start off the new year, and where we actually start talking about implementing now this concept that we call the GBI. Instead of a UBI, Universal Basic Income, we're talking about what we're already doing now, which is a GBI, gift-based income, moving us towards a gift-based economy. So anyway, that's exciting. So that's about all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Guillermo, you're back. Are we going to try it again? Still don't hear you. Yeah.
Charlotte, shall we ask Lee to say something?
Yeah. Guillermo, we're going to let you work with your microphone. Lee, could you introduce yourself to us and, well, a little bit what resource-based economy has meant for you in 2017 and what you're looking forward to in 2018?
Okay, thank you very much. Great to see you all again, guys. So I'm Lee Welch, and I'm the UK National Coordinator for Ubuntu Liberation Movement. It's been an incredible year, first year that I've actively been involved in Ubuntu, and it's been quite a year of achievements in terms of the number of small events that have happened. I think really before this year, in terms of Ubuntu events, we only had Michael providing presentations and inspiration, whereas the movement really has started to form these one small events as part of the overall Ubuntu strategy, which very simply, and this is the only thing that we're currently focusing on, is one small event, which is small events being held, very like casual get-togethers where people share like we are now about projects and ideas, getting to know each other as a network, and the art of the possible. One Small Farm, which at the moment is a project that is currently being put together where we introduce the Ubuntu philosophy to our farmers, who are really the kings, because they will be providing the food for all these self-sustained it's like towns. And then, of course, we've got the jewel in the crown, which is the One Small Town strategy, which, to be honest, at the beginning of the year, I was personally slightly skeptical as to whether or not it'd be relevant here in the UK. I've got a very different view now, as I've come to understand the political arena in far greater, and my concern now is that we just won't have enough people in a network to actually sustain the demands that will be made by all the mayors. As the towns are having to become more and more self-sustainable as part of the Agenda 21, and I'm very concerned about the poverty that will be taking place up and down the country. And I think mayors and local councils will need a solution, and we have one. So we're focusing very much on being able to facilitate the strategy of One Small Farm, One Small Town, and One Small Event. And to do that, we need to develop a powerful people network, which is exactly what the Ubuntu People Network is about. And that's about creating about 7 levels of coordinators. So there's a lot of things around the numbers and the design of the Ubuntu network, which coincide with numerology and sacred geometry. It's really important to us that we work in harmony with nature and natural law. I think it's very important that everything that we do works very much within these universal laws, as opposed to these man-made laws that we've been trapped in for so long. And so that's why 7 occurs, just like the astral body of the human being. There's 7 levels of coordinators. So the base level, as it were, is actually community coordinators. So we would look to have a coordinator.
Lee, we don't actually have the time here to talk about all the different aspects.
Sure.
That's
okay.
all right. But
Okay.
maybe at some future time we can hear more
Absolutely.
about it.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, to summarize, we've had a lot of events, a lot of people, and we've got an awful lot. It's going to escalate massively in 2018. So we're very excited.
Okay. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Guillaume, how's your sound system going? We still can't hear you. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Are you muted? You're not muted. This is so frustrating. Okay, well, we're going to go on again. Maybe Jenny, or let's see, Raul, or who haven't we heard from? Dimitri, was it?
Dimitri.
So,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
So my name is Dimitri. I'm from Bulgaria, actually. I'm currently in Prague, Czech Republic. I'm a software developer. I'm working for 4 years of experience in software development. And I'm more interested in the technical part of DVP. And is anybody who can answer my question? How far are we from the automation of food producing, for example? I was very interested that
Devader, you're really difficult to hear, and this is not really a forum at this moment where we're going to be asking and answering questions. This is more of a social event, so if you'd like to just tell us a little bit about yourself and the influence of RBE on your life.
Oh, basically, I was maybe after graduation. I learned about resource-based economy. So it was very profound hit on me actually, because I'm interested in technology, I'm interested in social change, and lectures of Fresco had a very big impact on my personality and maybe my life after that. So I was involved in some software development maybe 3 years ago, where there was a team called Corsen, which is software development team. There were some projects interesting to me. Basically, that's it.
Thanks for joining us. How did you find out about this group?
Facebook.
Okay, great. Well, I hope to see you again in the future, and maybe we can get more information from you too. Thanks.
Sure.
Jenny, do you want to say anything?
So I was gonna leave it to someone else, but I guess yeah, Jacque definitely changed my life. Gave me a new purpose, I would say, and a new future to look forward to. I'm really excited about the city that we're gonna actually work on. I guess we're all have been waiting to sink our fingers and hands into something that's real and start working together as a team. I'm really looking forward to that. And actually, I remember when I went to Venus in Florida and meet Jacque and Roxanne, I had mentioned to her about the film. And she said they're working on it. And that was a few years ago. So now that she actually announced it, meaning I think we're actually getting the ball rolling. And I think that's huge if we can get a documentary. Even the choices are is if we can get it on Netflix or something, I think it will open up the doorway to a bunch of people. I think that's part of why cryptocurrency got really huge this year too, was when the documentary came out. All of a sudden, it's no longer a thought, an idea, or some trick that no one knows what's about, and everyone has a much more clear, transparent idea how it works. I think people need that, and I really hope we can get it on some platform like Netflix or any other channel, and I'm looking forward to the new movie. It's going to be an exciting year. And personally, this year, what I've been doing is studying to be a hypnotherapist. And how that relates to the Venus Project is my whole thing is I'm all about what's possible and being positive, like all we talked about. And in hypnotherapy, it actually aligns our subconscious mind with our thoughts to make it more congruent so we can manifest the future. So in that sense, I think I can contribute that to anybody who has fears that they want to get rid of so that they can actually spend more time manifesting and creating than worried about what's happening right now. Because like everyone said, we know it's inevitable. It's just when and how. So we all, sink into the world subconscious, and it will make life a lot easier for all of us. So I'm really excited, and thank you for everyone that shared today.
Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, and that's something that definitely is essential in the whole transition, has to do with the change in the mindset. And I think most people are aware how we're being constantly bombarded with negative images in the media to keep us in this idea that we can't do anything and that we're too weak to change anything. So yeah, that's definitely a route that we have to go further on. Thanks.
Thank you.
Tony, you want to say anything?
Yes, can do. I thought you were going to forget me because I already said something, but that was only a question. First of all, it's a double sad day for me. It's the 2-year anniversary that my mother died. It's also 6 months of Jacque Fresco dying, so it's been a bit of a tough day today for me. However, on the other hand, it's been very exciting as well. Troy already explained an awful lot what has been happening, and that we have a mini summit in January. But I'll just tell about what has happened in 2017, really. We've met Lee Welsh from Ubuntu, which was amazing. We experienced a gift-based event there, which was very nice. It gave us a lot of ideas as well. And we kind of took those ideas to Holland, where we had like a mini summit with the admin. And we managed to actually get for 3 days together and actually work. And we have created so much work in those 3 days because of working face to face, that we've thought like it's going to be great when we do this on the mini summit as well, because we can produce so much work. As Steve was saying earlier on about Richard Osmunson, about the Money Free Party, he will be there as well. I'm really looking forward to meeting him. I had a meeting with him on the phone yesterday with cockerels crowing in the background because he kind of lives on a farm. Everybody I spoke to, they're all very excited on starting to work together, and we are so different as groups. RBE moving forward, TVP, and everybody that we've learned so much from each other. And now it's kind of the time that we're going to start working together, because time is kind of running out. That's how I feel. This is where we kind of lit the fire on the mini summit and really tried to make this into kind of a big thing. Sometimes I just waffle because I'm not quite sure, because I want to kind of say everything at the same time and it comes out like gobbledygook. I do apologize. So yes, for us it's very exciting. For me as well, 2017 has been full of revelations, and I think 2018 we're going to put those revelations into action. And it's about time, and it's about time that we start hooking up, and like we do with the, and I think it's great stuff what you guys do, and I want to thank you, Charlotte, Stephanie, and Raoul, for creating this RBE Moving Forward learning program. I think it's amazing, and it's brought so many people together, and we've learned so much from each other. Yes, and we want to try and continue that next year, but on a face-to-face basis. It's been kind of costly. We've had a sponsor, The Art of Living, that has helped us out with a gift-based contribution to get everybody here. And like I said, Zoom meetings are great. Talking to people via video link is amazing. Working with people face-to-face is, well, I don't have the word for it yet. I think it needs to be invented yet. I think 2018 is going to be a lot of work that's going to be happening, and we're going to move forwards pretty fast. I'm wholly convinced. We had a World Summit cafe meeting the other day, which was covered by a local newspaper. And this local newspaper was so intrigued that they would like to cover the whole mini summit in January, which is like, yes, great stuff. We are being noticed. Yes, even though it's been a sad day, it's been a bit of an anticlimax for me lately. Yes, there is a lot of excitement there, and yes, well, keep watching because there's going to be some great news coming out of this mini summit. So yes, that's about me.
Okay, thanks, Tony. I think the last one that we haven't heard anything from is Raoul, but I don't know if he wants to say anything. Raoul? Maybe not. Oh yeah, there you are. Are you going to say something?
I don't know. I'm taking everyone's input and missing you guys like so much. Because I haven't, like what you guys been saying, honestly, 2018 for me is going to be amazing. And like remembering Jacque, like for real, I would not be in the position I am or doing what I'm doing without Jacque's life work, honestly. So that's huge for me. It's huge because this guy that is not here with us, I don't know. Like for me, it sucks, but seeing everyone that is here and what we did in 2017 was like a little warm up, and this is literally game time for 2018 to actually interact with each other. What Tony said, I think 2018 is going to be amazing to actually finally meet Stephanie face to face, Troy, Tony, you, if you want to, Charlotte, and everyone else. There's going to be so many people that I actually want to go meet. And I think for me, it's like just connecting the puzzles. I want to take everyone's input, especially like, for example, I'm there, guys, in Mexico with all you guys, to be a big sponge and take all this knowledge in 2018 and actually be a connector. And honestly, for me, it's like just seeing it. I don't know how you guys are thinking about it, but like how everything's coming about, I feel like this is something amazing that we have. And it's up to us to actually whether wield it into what we want it to be or let it just happen around us, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I think all these meetings are going to get stronger. Like everyone's talking, so I'm like, oh my God, I have all these amazing ideas that it's like, for real, for me, it's like 2018, I want to expand this to actually, I feel that there's so many other people out there that are in the position we were in, say, 2015, 2016, trying to reach out to other people that are trying to really make a difference. And how can you actually make a difference? Whether we do mini summits all over the world or via this Zoom and try to reach to those people, because I really do believe that we have all the ingredients to actually make a world that we honestly wish to live in. But that's my input, and that's 2018. Like for me, for me, it's like I really did work for a foundation this year to actually keep myself free, but at the same time, I want to do that for others, because I feel that like, everyone's really trying to do something, and some people are stuck in separate situations, and it's like I think we can actually connect each other on a real level, like whether that, I forgot her name, I think it's Star or something like that, that she was talking, yeah, that's her, that she was talking about something that how she could help other people, whether it be emotionally or something like that. I think that's an amazing way to actually connect with other people, or all these ideas that we could actually connect and bring about. So that's just a little about that. For me, it's just like, I'm ready, guys, for real, whatever, let's do this. But I hope everyone's doing well, and it's going to be amazing next year, and hopefully we could do that and create like a stronger bond that we actually have been doing in the past, but actually create it way more and meaningful, if that makes sense. But I appreciate everyone here, and I appreciate everyone's, like, for real, I think Jacque would be amazing, honestly, in my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Raul, that you could be here, and I hope we get to meet up with you in the very near future as well.
Definitely, it's going to be amazing to be there in Mexico. I'm there with you guys. That's going to be my first time meeting almost a lot of people face to face.
Yeah, great. Well, then that just leaves me. Are you leaving, Yuri?
No, I have a message from an audio from Guilherme, because he couldn't rejoin. Do you want to try to listen to it?
Yeah, sure.
I think I'll have to use my phone and use the microphone. If you can't hear it, just let me know. Yeah. Make a sign or something.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Hey guys, sorry for the setback. My entire computer froze here. I'm just restarting everything. But I just wanted to say something. POCs in general, they cannot say anything in behalf of TVP. We're just like spokespersons for them. So a lot of the information that I sent might have some details that can be incorrect or something like that. So if you guys need any real information regarding stuff about TVP, just drop an email from the official website. And to say something about myself and how the year has been going. 2017 was a very good year. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the project that Yuri was talking about, IDTRA, is actually a project that I've developed regarding, it's a spin-off from TVP, just like anyone else. And it's a project regarding getting from a different strategy perspective to resource-based economy. There's a website if you guys want to check it out, idetra.org, idetra.org. And it's pretty much founded on an educational platform and getting people off the grid as much as possible so you can develop a critical mass and keep developing on top of that up until a point where we can have a resource-based economy of multiple cities connected. Hit me up on Facebook if you guys want to talk. It's Guilherme Viotti, Gylherme Viotti. Well, Yuri and Charlotte had my contact there. And for 2018, I will just keep on doing this project because I've pretty much dropped from the face of the earth to develop this project in which I'm going to transform everything to prove the concept of the project and make it self-sustainable and automated. And this year I just went on proving and doing some prototyping before I came here. We have a multitude of people working on the project so far. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for having me. Hopefully I managed to get some good information for you guys. And if you guys want to be more involved on TVP, just go on the website, the official website, send an email there and talk to whoever replies on the other end. That's the best approach. And keep on educating yourselves, keep on getting more reliable information regarding resource-based economy as a scientific method, so on and so forth. Best to you all. Sorry, my computer froze.
Thanks a lot, Yuri. It was really great to hear, and please convey, I think, from all of us how nice it was to have him here with us.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say just one last thing? I forgot to tell about, talk about what Jacque meant to me. I skipped over that. Do you want to hear anything about it? Very briefly.
Yeah.
Very briefly, in 2013, I was pretty much seeing many problems, and I wasn't really seeing any path for me in this society. I didn't want to engage in any corruption, in corrupt organizations, stuff like that. You looked in all organizations proposing solutions or partial solutions. They were usually not solutions, or they were meant to. There's a whole lot of people gaining financially behind it. There's always something behind it, or they're not really looking into the root cause. So I decided to totally dedicate my life to transition into a resource-based economy. That's the only path, because I would like to be living in a resource-based economy. I'm not interested in most things in this society, so I really want to transition to a resource-based economy and do it best I can. And, well, the best I think I can. And yeah, so I had a bunch of the core value system when I got to know the Venus Project. I had no idea of any solutions. I was pretty just sad all the time, all these problems. But then I found a proposal for dealing with the root cause. So it was really life-changing as well. Now, one last thing, I resumed studying computer science this year, actually. And that's relevant because I want to develop some stuff, programming, and stuff like that. And so I want to develop some tools and some systems, automation-based systems. And so some ideas of mine, and I want to contribute to Guilherme's project as well, that he will be doing some stuff in there. And so that's my hope for 2018 as well.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Yuri. Your dedication is an example, really. I've seen that throughout the past 6 months, and it's nice that you shared that with us. I'm just going to say a few things then before I close the meeting about myself. My name is Charlotte, and I'm originally from the States. I've been living in the Netherlands now for the past, I don't even want to say how many years, longer than I lived in the United States. And yeah, for me, running into Jacque's work via the Zeitgeist films, for me, that was really a wonderful time because I had been a communist when I was at university, and living in China, I saw that it wasn't working. And for me, that was a kind of crisis. I thought, you know, there's no chance of changing the world into a better place. And then I see this Zeitgeist movement, and I see Jacque's work in the second one. I said, wow, there are other people who see this, and there are other people who are busy trying with making really good plans to do something to change this mess that's killing people and killing the planet. And meeting all of you these past 6 months has been really a blessing, you know, getting all this different input from everybody, meeting every month, every 2 weeks, seeing new faces, seeing old faces. Yeah, that has enriched my life. So I'm looking forward to 2018. I think, yeah, what Roel and also what Tony says, the shit is getting real. 2017, you see on Facebook, you see a lot of people saying, yeah, seeing things like, can't we just get rid of 2017? I mean, it has been a heavy year. And seriously, I don't think conditions are going to get any easier. And that makes the positive work, the possibility that we can propose positive solutions in these times even more important. So, you know, let's take that torch, let's let it shine, let's get it out into the world, and yeah, make a brighter future for everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight. Hope to see you again in 2018. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye. Okay. And end meeting.